came, he destroyed, he's finally gone, ladies and gentlemen. He has finally left the building. After lots of speculation, after winking at the idea, Klaus Schwab is out at the WEF, folks. Give yourselves a round of applause, but don't get too excited because there's more to this story than what you'd believe. So, as pointed out by Reuters, Davos gathering founder Klaus Schwab quits as World Economic Forum chair. I love how they pose him as the gathering founder. Like he's a scout trooper. Like he's the scout leader. Come on, kids, gather together. We're going to go around a campfire, sing stories, talk about eating crickets, how to dominate over financial markets, how to destroy democracies around the world. It's going to be fun. Fun camping trip. From the James Bond Yertle the Turtle looking villain here. This is Dr. Evil in the present. And he is stepping down with a lot of noise because he's not going out swiftly, folks. As the National Post points out, World Economic Forum board backs a launch of an independent probe into founder Klaus Schwab. The statement came after reports saying a whistleblower letter alleging financial and ethical misconduct by Schwab and his wife Hilda. Not to, burst the bubble here, but you do realize this is the World Economic Forum, okay? The whole institution is nothing more than financial and ethical misconduct. Without it, it wouldn't survive. That's why it's pretty much the Legion of Doom. This would be like tracking down the most evil supervillain known to man and not realizing he's part of an elite cult of other supervillains. Like, it's an evil cult. That's what they do. So, it's kind of hilarious. It's good that they're investigating, but it's kind of hilarious that they're not seeing the bigger picture of this. And I said to hold on to your hats, folks. Don't get too excited because his replacement is far worse. So, if you think Klaus Schwab was already bad enough, take a look at this from Dr. Simon Goodek. Everyone cheering Klaus Schwab's exit from the WEF should be careful what they wish for. His replacement is none other than this guy, Peter brabeck-letmathe? Peter brabeck-letmathe, ex-Nestle CEO, supporter of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, food supply poisoner, and the guy who said water isn't human right. He definitely has the face to describe that. I mean, come on. Come on, look at that. That is the genuine face of a man with that personality. That water is not a human right, that food needs to be poisoned, that you need to be sacrificed for the profits of a chocolate company. Oh, it just gets better, folks. It just gets so much better. We went from eating the bugs to now you can't get water. And I don't know about you, but I think water is more vital considering the fact that you can't go without days without water as survival. You can go weeks without food, but you can't go days without water. That's why it's part of survival, it's part of nature, it's part of human life. Without water, we would cease to exist. And now you just hired the guy who's trying to recreate Mad Max here as the leader of the World Economic Forum. Look at that face. Look at that face. That is the face that makes Freddy Krueger look more attractive. And to show you just how bad this man is, how nefarious, how evil, how grotesque this guy is, let me just remind you of what Nestle is capable of. So, from The Guardian, while Nestle extract millions of liters from their land, residents have no drinking water. This is from 6 years ago. The mysterious rash on the arm of a 6-year-old of the 6-year-old Theron couldn't heal for almost a year. His mother, something Thomas, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, who lives in the Six Nations of the Grand River Indigenous Reserve in Ontario. Here, in Ontario, Canada. Went to the local doctor for lotions for the body. It worked for a time, but the itchy rash always returned. Thomas came to suspect the culprit behind the rash was water, or rather, the lack of it. Thomas, a university student and mother of 5 who has lived without running tap water since the age of 16. Her children lack access to things commonplace elsewhere, like toilets, showers, and baths. For washing and toilet usage, they use a bucket. This is a challenging exist of full frustration, exhaustion, and health problems, a reminiscent of life in some developing countries. But this is not third world. This is Canada, which regularly ranks as one of the United Nations' top places in the world to live. Moreover, this native community is located in the prosperous southern Ontario, 90 minutes from the Canada's largest and richest city of Toronto. Meanwhile, Thomas and her family do without water. The beverage company, Nestle, extracts millions of liters of water daily from the Six Nations Treaty land. So, while Indigenous communities in Canada don't have access to water, we are allowing a multinational corporation to siphon the drinking water from that community. It's not that they don't have the water, it's that they're forbidden to get access to that water because Canada sold itself out to Nestle. And this goes all over the world. Nestle is a huge, huge evil, nefarious organization for stealing resources and water from residents and starving communities so that they could bottle that same water and charge you $6 a pop. Bottling up a resource of survival. So that's in Ontario, Canada. Here's California. California that just recently had the wildfires. They could have used the water. California orders Nestle to stop siphoning spring water. The world's largest food and beverage company is accusing of taking millions more gallons than it's entitled to. So California was trying to sue. There was people in California trying to sue Nestle. But what did Nestle do? They bought out the politicians. They bought out people like Gavin Newsom. And the politicians and the lawmakers in the state struck down that lawsuit because they were massively corrupted by this institution. Here's another one. This is out in BC. The Wild West of groundwater. $1 billion Nestle extracting BC's drinking water for free. Nestle Waters Canada takes 265 billion liters of fresh water from a Fraser Valley well. 265 million liters. Not paying a price whatsoever. And then charging suckers $6 and up. In some cases, I'm not even making this up. You could pay $6 for a bottle of water. This is where people from the 70s and 80s, back when they used to play in the movies, like thinking that drinking water was a scam. Oh, nobody's going to buy bottled water. It's such a scam. We should have listened to them. We should have listened to those people because it is a scam. This is an ultimate nefarious evil plot scam. And now the guy that headed all this is now responsible to WEF. So here's him. This is him as the CEO, the acting CEO of Nestle, bringing in detail on the fact that we need to control the water supply. The guy that's siphoning all the natural resources, siphoning residential drinking water away from people, away from communities, starving them, literally starving these people out of drinking water, is now going to do a full-blown lecture about how you need to ration your water supply, how you are the problem. Listen to this.
Also Wasser ist natürlich das wichtigste Rohmaterial, das wir.
Well, let me read this because
Also
water is,
Wasser
of
ist
course,
natürlich das
the most
wichtigste
important raw material
Rohmaterial, das
we
wir
have
heute
today
noch
in the
auf der Welt
world.
haben. Es
It's
geht
a
darum,
question
ob
of
wir die
whether we should
normale Wasserversorgung
privatize
der
the normal
Bevölkerung
water supply for the population.
privatisieren oder.
It's a question if we should steal the water and capitalize the profits. That's what he's saying here. It's a question of whether or not we should be nefarious and steal a necessity of survival and privatize that. They're privatizing drinking water. What's next? Are you going to steal the world's oxygen and sell people oxygen tanks to breathe? Is that what's going to happen? You're going to steal sunlight and charge people to get natural sun ray? That's what's going to happen? How about the ultimate question is how much of a nefarious evil prick you are, how you should be arrested, and how Nestle should be boycotted? I know people are going to say, come on, Jay, Nestle, it's a chocolate company. That's like saying you're against Halloween. That's like saying you're against trick-or-treating. You don't want to do that to the nation's children, especially because the next Halloween, they'll get to enjoy, the fructose-covered crickets. Caramel-covered grasshoppers. That's good protein. According to Klaus Schwab and the rest of the nefarious ghouls that are eating veal and steak tartare.
Nicht. Und da gibt es zwei verschiedene
And there are two different
Anschauungen.
opinions on the matter.
Die eine
The one
Anschauung,
opinion, I think, is
extrem würde ich
extreme,
sagen, wird von
is
einigen
represented by the
von den
NGOs.
NGOs vertreten, die darauf pochen, dass
about
Wasser
declaring
zu
water
einem öffentlichen Recht.
So the extreme measure this guy is contemplating with and is frustrated with is people saying that water is a human right. That's the extreme position, not siphoning communities, siphoning indigenous lands, and violating, illegally, taking this water supply, taking the reservoir, taking the aqueducts away from farmers, stealing that water and privatizing. That's not contemplating, but it's contemplating to think that, oh, water is a right to human life because human life would not exist without water. That's the extreme part. Wow. Again, this makes comic book villainry the most sane. Think of the most evil character in any movie ever. They're a teddy bear compared to this creep.
Erklärt wird. Das heißt,
That means that
als Mensch
as a human
sollten
being,
sie
you should
einfach
have the
Recht
right
haben,
to
Wasser
water.
zu haben. Das ist die eine Extremlösung.
That's an extreme solution. He's telling you that's an extreme solution. Now, drinking water, necessary for human life, is an extreme solution. And it doesn't stop there. It does not stop there. Because we're going to show you in another clip here that the UK is allowing to dim the sun. I kid you not, they're spraying chemicals. They're approving to spray more chemicals into the atmosphere, take sunlight away from people. So you have no access to water. You have no access to sunlight. And I'm sure there's someone out there that's going to start, charging people for air. These are soulless monsters. I mean, this is the closest thing to a lizard. And the sad part about it is a lizard actually has more empathy than this schmuck. A lizard, an actual lizard, a gecko, whatever, I would trust better than a guy like this, than a goddamn prick like this Peter Brabeck. Even sounds like an evil asshole. He has the perfect accent, the perfect look. It's like Hollywood perfectly designed him in a laboratory.
Ja? Und die andere,
view
die
says,
sagt, Wasser
That
ist
water is a foodstuff
ein
like any other.
Le
No, no. Again, the difference between water and food is the fact that you can't go days without water. You can go week or maybe even 2 weeks without food. But water is a necessity. That's why Earth is populated by humans and animals, unlike any other planet, because they have a water source. And these are the people that are yelling at you to trust the science, by the way. These are the people that are yelling at you to trust the science, but don't know basic biology, like how human life exists because of water. Our bodies are made of water. Without water, there would not be life on this planet. Period. So no, it's not a food stuff. It's not a luxury you can get at 7-Eleven. It's a necessity.
Lebensmittel, so wie jedes andere
And
Lebensmittel,
like any other
sollte
food
das
stuff,
einen
it should have
Marktwert
a
haben.
market value.
Ich persönlich glaube,
Personally,
es
I
ist
believe
besser,
it's better
man
to
gibt
give food
einem
stuff a value.
Lebensmittel einen Wert.
Yeah, I'm sure it's beneficial. I think about it all the time when I'm sitting on my yacht and giving the finger to the rest of the world. You plebes, you peasants, you poor, you vile monsters. Always thinking you need water and air and sunlight. You goddamn vermin. Can't you see that the rich billionaire, the aristocrats, the oligarch, they have feelings too. They need to be recognized, and I feel it's important that we put a market value on a necessity. Holy crap. This is incredible. This is incredible to go from eats the bugs, don't have air conditioning, everyone drives an electric vehicle because I need my private jets to jet set somewhere. By the way, this is the guy that's running the organization that is while doing all this to you, while oppressing you in 9 Ways to Sunday, is cutting down an entire rainforest to build a private road so that billionaire aristocrats like him, nefarious ghouls like him, and the rest of his cohorts can go to a summit meeting to talk about the climate, talk about the environment, tear down a rainforest to build a private road that no one else can use to talk about the climate. And now you wonder why someone like me, who I would consider an environmentalist and very much supporter of nature and the surrounding area, to start questioning the climate change agenda. You wonder why it's losing touch. You wonder why it's losing momentum. Just like how COVID, people are starting to lose the momentum of health experts. Because now the word is out, now the propaganda has lost faith with people, and people are starting to realize that that's also a scam. Just like having this guy lecturing you about the importance of water while he's privatizing it and stealing the resource right on your nose is the ultimate scam. People in the 70s and 80s are right. Bottled water is a scam. And it's hard to believe that people pay for it. It's hard to believe that people still pay for bottled water. And supporting a Nestle's official like this guy. This prick. That wants to tell you it's food stuff. It's not important.
Sodass wir alle bewusst sind,
So that we're aware
dass,
that it
dass
has a
das etwas
price.
kostet und dann
And then
anschließend
that you take
versucht, dass man
specific
mehr
measures
spezifisch für diesen
for
Teil
the
der
part of the
Bevölkerung, der
population that has
keinen Zugang zu diesem
no
Wasser
access to
hat,
water. You mean like the indigenous communities that you stole the water from? Or how about Flint, Michigan? By the way, Nestle's headquarters is in the state of Michigan. Guess what's also in Michigan? Flint, who's had a water crisis for over a decade. Over a decade. And the news has been rounds. They have made rounds of media attention of highlighting the importance of this, that lead toxics are infestating into young children, decimating entire population there. And everyone from Nestle to the EPA to Barack Obama to the governor, every single person from every level has been ultimately corrupted to allow this to happen. They wanted to poison Flint, Michigan. They want to poison communities. They believe you're a bunch of animals. You're a bunch of vultures. They have no respect for you. And it's astonishing that people, A, still don't know about the WEF, and understandable because, you know, the media doesn't ever talk about them whatsoever. So I give that credit. But the people that do understand the WEF are okay with this. They're okay with this. Oh, because, Jay, it's about cooperation. It's about getting countries to align together. It's about partnership. We need to partner together to make humanity better. You know, like stealing water. Like enforcing strict mandates. Like censoring people. That's going to help humanity, according to this prick. According to supporters of the WEF. And they're not deemed a terrorist organization, which by definition they should be. This is a group of individuals causing harm and infliction on a group of nations posing for their own political beliefs, political religious beliefs. That's the definition of terrorism. So by all defaults, this organization should be a terrorist op. But they're never going to say that. They're never going to say that. Because the WEF owns everybody. It's a bunch of elite bankers. It's a bunch of oligarchs. It's a bunch of oil tycoons. That's who runs the world. Just like the movie network has taught us that the world is not countries. It's companies and the international flow of dollars. That's it. We have no countries when this is in control. So, here is him again, reiterating that water is not a human right. That water is considered foodstuff. It's a luxury. A necessity of life is a luxury, according to the schmuck. And here he is again, now enforcing laws and limits on you on how much water you can use. Again, this guy is like recreating Mad Max. It's the Mad Max experience for the globe. Listen to this.
Hello, I'm Peter Brabeck, the chairman of Nestle. There are apparently some misconceptions about my ideas on water. Let me make it clear from the beginning. I have always supported the human right to water. Everyone should have enough clean, safe water to meet their fundamental daily needs.
Well, that's a complete contradiction to what you've always believed and keep reiterating in private. Just like that previous video. You were contemplating the idea. You said that people were so up in arms about water being a human right. It's contemplating. It's challenging. It's an extremist solution. And here he is lying to you. He's lying to you. I've always supported water as a human right. This guy is an evil mastermind. This guy is sinister to the bone. And I don't like to use the word satanic because I'm not a religious person and I don't want to throw that word out there, but clearly this guy can resemble, let's just say, the son of Lucifer. Let's just say that.
About 50 to 100 liters per day. But not to fill a pool or wash a car. There is a difference. We must transform the way we think about water. By 2025, 1.8 billion people will be living in regions without enough water.
By the way, 2025, that's now. That's a complete lie. That's a complete lie. So what he's telling you is you regular person, you vulture that cares so much about water, you're going to have to give up the water so that someone like me can use it for my yacht, so that I can clean my 18 cars. I love that he's telling people, hey, you can't fill up your pools, you can't wash your car. A lot of people are lucky enough to even afford a place with a pool or a car, given the current situation. And now here you are deliberately mandating people they have to limit their water supply. This is all crap. This is all garbage. This is a scam. This is a pyramid scheme in action. The guy that is lecturing you about the importance of water and scarcity is the same asshole that is stealing the water for his company to privatize. I'm surprised they didn't add this as a Nestle commercial. They could have done an infomercial on this. Yeah, it's very important to be concerned about the scarcity of water, and I don't think people should wash their cars or fill their pool. But give me $5 for a water bottle so you could siphon down the tap water that I stole from you. Ha! Nestle.
Water scarcity is the greatest challenge we face today. And we need to start recognizing water as a precious resource.
There you go. And I love how he says precious, like Lord of the Rings. My precious water. And I take it all. Good God. This is devastating. Like they said at the beginning, don't get your hopes up in thinking that, hey, Klaus Schwab is gone, so obviously WEF is going to get better, right? No. Absolutely not. But they're investigating Klaus Schwab, so it's got to get... No, it's not. No, it's not. The only way for the WEF to get better is if we ban the WEF. Ban all these people. Not allow Davos to continue on. Eliminate it. Cut ties with it. Especially in this country of Canada. Canada has been bought out by the WEF. We should be immediately cutting ties with the WEF. Immediately. Because they are the ones that are doing the most damage. Far beyond Trump, far beyond any politician. Much of our politicians come from the WEF directly. They are the ones instigating the most damage of this country. And the only way to save Canada and its sovereignty is to eliminate the ties to the WEF. Completely dismantle them. Because you're going to get this. You're going to get some evil psychopath that wants to recreate Mad Max and limit the use of water. You're not allowed to drink. You're not allowed to shower. You're not allowed to do this. Imagine trying to enforce that to people that are already living in tents across the nation. Hey, you can't wash your car. You can't fill up your pool. Yeah, thanks. I'm living in a tent, by the way. I'm homeless because of the current policies that your people addressed that we needed and told our politicians to enforce that onto us. And this is actually predicted, believe it or not. So, from the Hill, Kamala Harris even suggested this. Kamala Harris, tackle mom, when she was vice president, says, for years and generations, wars have been fought over oil. In a short matter of time, they will be fought over water. So, is she predicting that the CEO of Nestle was going to take over WEF and we were going to live like Mad Max? Is that the prediction? Is she a Simpsons writer? Did she predict the future? Well, let's hear it. Let's hear this.
And here's the other thing, because I also, I'm in a lot of meetings on foreign policy. For years and generations, wars have been fought over oil. In a short matter of time, they will be fought over water. So when we think about building up our economy around our infrastructure on something like water policy, it's literally about jobs. It's about the fundamental source of life that Tammy Duckworth was talking about. It will sustain life.
So are you going to take that money, cut the defense budget, and put that towards infrastructure to get clean water to more people? No! They did the exact opposite. They did the exact opposite. They cut back on infrastructure to put more into defense. Because they need to fund the Ukraine war. They need to fund the genocide in Gaza. They need to fund all the 900 plus military bases worldwide mass destructing this planet while complaining about the climate of the planet. That's what's happening. They're not doing anything for you. They're not doing anything for you. All Kamala Harris is doing right here is warning you that, hey, you suckers, you're going to have to kill each other and slaughter each other, not just for oil, for us, but we're going to steal your water and you're going to have to kill each other for it. You're going to have to go full out Hunger Games, mass slaughter each other, go into civil war because of a natural resource and essential for human life that we stole from you because we are selfish, soulless monsters. And we don't give a crap about you. That's what I'm seeing here. That's what I'm seeing here. Because it didn't go into, hey, maybe we should stop Nestle. Maybe we should investigate the practices of this company. Maybe we should invest in infrastructure. Hey, maybe we should do this in Flint, Michigan. Maybe can I get a glass of water? Can I get a glass of water? Where's Barack Obama? I need him to do a trick. Give me a glass of water. Honest to God, it's so grotesque. And you're probably thinking, why here in Canada, other than indigenous populations, other than communities that have been afflicted by Nestle, why should we care about this? Why should we care about the WEF and who's the next leader? Why should that matter to me? Average person, maybe someone that lives in Toronto that is watching CBC right now and just doesn't care about what's going on in the world. Well, just to reiterate, know that our politicians, the people, our lawmakers, our policy makers, originate from the WEF. And here's proof of it to remind people again.
What we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was on.
We are very proud of our minion, Justin Trudeau. So we penetrate his cabinet. Meaning that they took over Parliament. That right there is the threat to sovereignty. That right there should be the revolt. This right here, the moment this got addressed, that this was captured on camera, this is when Canada should have had a rally. Not now. Not doing elbows up against Trump. Because this is far worse. This is far dangerous for our society. And no one seems to care. No one seems to care. And even the people that know about the WEF, they don't even care, which is disgusting. It's awful. Sadly, I know those people.
At a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. What we are very.
So you just admitted that we purposely train these people, that your government is a psyop of our organization. We purposely hand-selected your government. We penetrated your politicians. And the policies are directives ordered by us. That's why it's important to know about the WEF. That is why this is so troublesome. That is why I'm reporting this story to you guys. Because no matter where you are in the world, these are the nefarious monsters that are dictating you. These are the ones that are threatening your sovereignty. Not Trump, not even Mark Carney, but people that work in this awful organization, the Legion of Doom, that needs to be destroyed, that needs to stop, because it is a threat to society. It is not helping society, it is not thriving society, it is a threat to society. And we went from this guy, Dr. Evil, Yertle the Turtle guy, to him, which is going to haunt me in my dreams now. Oh my God, that is a notorious face. I mean, that to that. It's uncanny. Look at that. Get to you someday, Mr. Bond. I'm going to take the natural resources and steal the water, and we will track you down. Yes. Ugh. God, even just joking around makes me sick. Get him off the screen. Get him off the screen. Ugh. Well, I know that was a bit of a Debbie Downer, but brace yourselves. Know the importance and, fight back. That's the big thing. Fight back against this kind of tyranny, because this, again, is a threat. This is the biggest threat to civilization. More so than Trump, more so than Carney, more so than Pierre Poilievre, more so than any politician combined. Know where they came from, know where their policies come from, because they're more sinister masterminds that are in control of every country, every policy, every jurisdiction that people can imagine.